Now, our next keynote speaker is Viktor Simončić. He is from the independent environmentalist from Croatia. He will talk about new policies in EU, green agenda, and how to adopt. Now, Viktor Simončić is an expert in the field of environmental protection with more than 30 years of experience. After completing his studies as a graduate engineer of oil technology and petrochemistry in Croatia and obtaining the title of Doctor of Technical Sciences in Chemical Engineering in Germany, he has been actively participating in environmental protection activities since the late 1970s. At the beginning of 1980s, he became one of the first university professors in the field of environment, and during 1982, he led one of the first programs for the protection of the environment in Croatia. Also, he worked by invitation as a senior official in the governments of Croatia and Slovenia on issues of environmental protection and the creation of the first legal acts.
Hello to everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
hello.
We can. Hello.
Hello. Can you see my presentation?
We can. Everything is perfect.
Yes.
Everything is perfect. Thank you for this very nice introduction. I have the opportunity to participate on CIBEK for the second time, and I will speak again something about the circular economy, but in the field of with new policy of EU, with green agenda, and what is very important, how adopt it. I will try to keep in my 25 minutes time. What we should share to be concerned that we are living in the world which change. And as I saw this green agenda from EU, I came back to 1972 and the first UN conference on environment protection in Stockholm. In this time, the footprint was very positive, and we used less environment, and that was on the disposal. After 1972, that happened several conferences, promises, and the big politicians meetings about the environment, but the environment is going worse and worse, and now we are using our yearly amount of the environment worldwide up to the end of July, in Europe up to the 1st May. And what is green agenda? In green agenda, we see that EU decided to be climate neutral up to by 2050. What this mean for the global emissions? That means reducing of 10% of the global emissions in CO2. China has also, I don't know if the document called Green Agenda, China plans to become climate neutral by 2060, and this means 27% of reduction of global emissions. This is the question: are the ideas from Green Plan the same as the sustainable development? And probably yes, but paradigm of sustainable development based on the interrelation of social, natural, and economical needs requests. And that is always the question, is this a very universal principle, same approach for all? Is sustainable development absolute category? We can translate also, is Green Plan, EU Green Plan, the same plan for all EU member states? Obviously not, because we have big differences between the countries and inside the countries in income. So that you have the nominal income for Luxembourg was in 2017 closely $100,000, but now, for example, in Serbia was only $15,000 and something. Regional differences in GDP inside EU are even bigger. Their differences between the regions are over factor 30. Additionally to this, we have the differences between the regions in particular countries, and this could be also up to factor 20. And what we are doing, we always understand everyone will doing on the same criteria, on the same standards, and that is the question: could we pay this same standard? And obviously, sustainability is much more complicated as just 3 overlapping circles, and that is very local specific. And we need to have this in mind if we decided for some actions. Even in some documents, they are common documents with common standards, common decisions, and so on. When we are looking waste management, is one of the problems, and in my opinion, also solution for green agenda. Today, about 50% of household solid waste is recycled in the European Union, but there are big differences. Nobody is speaking about the differences. The rich countries or some developed countries, they recycle closely 80%, and some other countries closer only up to 5%. And then what is surprising, despite of such large differences, EU recently approved to raise the recycling rate of municipal waste from 50 to 65, then recycling packaging waste up to 75, limiting the disposal of municipal waste to landfills to 10%. These targets are excellent. This is the question, is possible to meet these questions, these targets so easy? And then the people come with circular economy as an equal solution for all. Is this really an equal solution for all? I believe that we can think about this, if we can take this very easy. In my opinion, and I will shorten this, that a circular economy, yes, but it must be tailored to the local conditions. And if not, it could become a challenge rather than, then it could be challenge rather than obstacle. Otherwise, that will be big obstacle. But circular economy is also nothing new. It's just a sophisticated expression for good resource behavior common to peasant households for years and decades. If you are looking about the circular economy, that is a very simple approach. Just look at that is user, processing, manufacturing, retail, and so on, and that is one circle, and you can do it. That's very easy. But if you are looking, if that's really so simple, especially it's probably simple for laymen, because the system is much more complicated as we just believe, and in my opinion, it's all quite complex. If we have the same standard in Denmark and in Serbia, then we will need closely the same logistic and the same equipment. And the system is indeed quite demanding and very complex, and requests huge number of facilities, processing industry for different type of waste goods, smart legislation and administration, and excellent management. I use this slide from one presentation of German government in Zagreb, and here is the infrastructure in municipal waste management in Germany. If you are translating that to this, for example, for Serbia, if you just with simple division with 10, because 8 million, close to 8 million inhabitants in Serbia compared to 80 million in Germany, then Serbia would need, for the same standard in waste management, for same targets in circular economy, some 16 incineration plants, 80 waste energy plants, 100 sorting plants, 240 compressing plants, and so on. And what will be also needed to have circular economy, addition to the waste facilities, a wide range of processing industry must be available, which can use different flows of waste as raw materials or alternative energy. Otherwise, why you are collecting the waste? Such wide range of manufacturing industry, as a rule, only exists in a handful of the most developed countries in Europe. Not in all countries, particularly not, for example, in our region. That is probably just a joke. I participated in one zero conference in Rijeka, about zero waste conference in Rijeka, and that is probably the final stage of the circular economy. And the representative from Italy is in favor of the concept of zero waste. He said that once almost everything stopped production of cars in Italy because of the lack of waste plastic for making certain parts. A representative of one Croatian company complained that they had problems with the plastic waste. I proposed him to build a car factory to solve the problem. Same standards for all. Is this an unrealistic approach? Principle same standards for all, as well in the process of EU accession, as well the takeover of international commitments is questionable. Every commitment should be integrated in a complex scheme of sustainable development for particular community. One should make a difference between the Sweden and Bulgaria, but also between Belgrade and Crna Trava. There are different circumstances. It's very difficult to have the same standards. And what I'm trying to propose, equality for same standards for everyone means equality for same is questionable. Same standards for everyone means the same operating cost for everyone. On average, the cost, for example, the cost of handling municipal waste could be around 20 euro per month per established standard per household. How much does this affect the household budget? Here you have just very rough estimation about how much this 20 euros can impact the household income. And you can see very simply that for rich countries, there are peanuts. And in order to achieve this high standard of waste management, for example, in Serbia, households would have to allocate more money to solve waste problem than for children education. Approach must be adjusted to affordability, and definitely Serbia with 35, let's take this as development index or something, could not fulfill everything on the same way with someone who has 100. And I mean that we will need in the countries, between politicians and scientists and the NGOs and all activists in environment to commit according equity. Practical equity is something what could bring us in the position to fulfill some standard. How achieve this? That is some very innovative idea. Some solution is maybe as in the NATO. In the NATO, each country should participate with 2% from the GDP. Why not, if we are speaking about the same standard in the environment, why should whose household not participate with same percentage from their household income? In circular economy, it's very, very important what you will do it with the waste fractions. You have to have appropriate processing capacities. The capacities must be at disposal at an acceptable distance. This is also very positive, so that this positive environmental footprint of the use of waste as raw material or alternative fuel would not have been cancelled by the negative footprint or by increased cost due to transport and produced green gas emissions. That is very important. For example, in Croatia, on island Brač, they have collect the separated glass. They transport separated glass 50 kilometers to the nearest glass factory in Humna Sutla. The cost €1,000 and the factory pays only €400. That is also something that someone needs to think about this. Circular economy is definitely opportunity, even for the fulfillment of environmental requests from green agenda. It must be tailored to local circumstances and also adapted to local and national performance. There is no direct, and then if you are listening to people from this speaking about in favor of circular economy, they are always speaking there is the money in the waste. There is no direct money in the waste. Waste management is in the first step means always additional cost. Can you pay it? And any unnecessary cost is for those who pay services could be damage or burden for and even for the individuals or for the business. And if you speaking about the circular economy, you need to obtain the clean waste fractions. And first, that is very important. And then you have today mostly the so-called, I'm calling that manufacturer paradigm is proposed and even introduced, and that you have that collection in separate bins on the source. But if only a few individuals are not willing to participate in the right way at the source, it is particularly impossible to get enough clean waste fractions. You can use different models how you will collect these different fractions, but cleanliness is always very questionable. We have on island Krk in Croatia, that is one really advanced waste management system on local area, but you have up to 20, even 30% of other waste is containing in separately collected phase. And that is only not the case in Croatia. These are the new data also from the Germany. The citizens put 20% of other waste in a bio-waste, 30% of waste does not belong there in the waste bin, and up to 40% of the other waste in yellow bag and so on. And here is some data from 2013 from one district in Germany, and you can see that in packaging waste there is less than 50% of packaging waste. But always, again, that is not important how you will collect the separate fractions. You always need to have the sorting plans, because you will always find something what not belong in these fractions. Today, in the last years, the technology industrial plants were developed. They allowed to take all these fractions even from the mixed waste. And here I am proposing one company, but it's not this only one. They can, from the mixed waste, use all separate fractions and use it properly. So that you take wine from plastic, carton, paper, textiles, and so on and so on and so on. Not to make too much propaganda for this company. And what is the impact on climate change if you have one or three vessels? If you're collecting all waste in only one vessel, or if you are collecting in three different vessels, for example, for mixed, for bio, and for plastic, paper, and so on. There are serious costs even by the collecting. If you have the trucks in the cities, then these trucks 50% stands, 20% accelerated, 1% time drive, then again brake, and so on. And they are taking a lot of the time and then using a lot of the energy only to collect something. And if you are looking at what is the difference in collection time from these three vessels and one vessels, then that is very easy. If you have one vessel is full, and with this vessel you are going to fulfill the one track, for example, you will need 1 hour. But if in this vessel is only the half of waste, because the other half is in the other bins, then you will need 2 hours, and so on and so on. And if you are going back to the CO2 emissions, then you will see that if you have the three vessels instead of only one, then you will have up to 15 times higher CO2 emissions. That is now what is very important, the China ban of waste import, this new challenge even for Europe. Because then in the European Union and in all these countries, they have really serious problems with the rest of particularly plastic waste. And just by the way, one question. In EU, you will the people will always speaking about the big results on recycling and so on and so on. And then it's only the question, was processing of plastic waste in China on the line with the circular economy? What is important while I am coming back to green economy, that CO2 is a good with a price on the market. You have some trading system in the European Union. I don't believe that now this ton is 24 euros. I believe that is higher. And that's mean that if you are saving, if you are using also the waste as a fuel, then you can have some very positive financial benefits. And so that is the question, if sometimes you should collect everything in different bins, or you can collect only one. It seems the waste to energy is a necessity. In Finland, they have in last 20 years they decided to go in the energy processing, and now about 60% of the municipal waste is going to be thermal treated. In Slovenia, that are also some now new approach. NGO insists, and the government accepted this, that they will build at least 5 plants waste to energy, but they have already one plant on waste in Celje for district heating. Waste to energy, because the EU planned this neutrality, and I believe that it is very important to have self-sufficiency in many activities, including waste management. But if I'm speaking self-sufficiency, that's mean on the level of particular country, not only on the level of the EU. Concerning the current trends, it can be expected that the use of energy potential of waste will certainly gain even more importance. The problem with harnessing the energy potential of waste is the ability to absorb heat. That is always particularly with new plants. You need to do something with the heat, and maybe this is the possibility to build decentralized small plants to use the waste energy. Here is only one good example. In CIBEK, in my town where I am living now, in the scrap aluminium foundry, natural gas as a fuel will be replaced by heat obtained from fuel from waste. And that is going to happen in the next days. And about coming back to green agenda, the green agenda definitely need appropriate circular economy. Circular economy is important for green agenda, but circular economy is not unique approach on the principle same for all, or same standard for all. It must be tailored to the local circumstances. If not, circular paradigm based on copy-paste could be serious disadvantage for green agenda goals, national and local economy, and for users, for citizens. With every measures and investment, the question must be asked about the impact on national and local GDP, who will pay it and whether it can pay. Affordability first. So, thank you for your attention. I hope that the message that we need not just to copy between from one country to the other countries, but just we need to tailor some management approaches and techniques to local circumstances is coming through this presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Victor, for your presentation. If there are any questions, please, you can ask now.
No, everything was so clear, so there are no questions.
Exactly. Are there some? Oh,
And I just forgot to say hello to Mohammed, and he used one of my slides from 2 years ago. And with this presentation, what is the share between the number of citizens and the GDP and the also legal standards. Thank you, Mohammed.
great. I think, unfortunately, he had to leave maybe half an hour ago.
Okay.
But again, we will tell him.
Okay.
I think I see someone who wants to.
Yes, I would
Yes.
like to. Professor, in his opinion, EU Circular Economy Action Plan said that recycling is a less preferable option. And now they want to increase recycling rates. I don't understand why.
No, this recycling, maybe I have not understood.
Increase recycling by 2030. 65%.
This 65 even.
Recycling belongs to third group, long loops, less preferable.
Yes.
Then again, why? I'm confused.
I have not understand what is the question. Recycling.
Why? They build this plan. They emphasize this EU action plan for circular economy. They want to apply in business, in all aspects of our society to achieve sustainable development. But then again, 10 are imperatives. The less preferable is recycling and energy recovery. But then again, they say let recycle more. What do you, in your opinion, why is that?
I don't know what is the problem. Sorry, what is the problem with taking over the standards for the European Union? They are bringing the same standards independently of the economic power or development and so on a particular country. Even that they will say, okay, you don't need to collect or separate up to 2020X. You can collect it up to 2020Y. But in the moment, the European Union, in the documents, you can always see they will increase the targets, they will increase the percentage, but in the reality, you have the numbers of countries. They don't fulfill even the standards and targets 10 years ago.
Yes.
And that is unrealistic. And then that's what I would like to propose. Particularly now, even for these new countries, they are joining to the European Union to fight about this type of idea. Our politicians, they always coming home from Brussels and they told, now we have the new targets and we have not fulfilled this up to now, but the next much more higher we will fulfill it tomorrow. They will not fulfill. We are not fulfilling these standards. And that is important now to say this very clear and also to see what and how we need to collect. If you don't have the paper factory, okay, paper is maybe something good. If you don't have the glass factory, if you don't have it, what you will do it if you are separate? So you need to think about your country, not only as not a kind of separatism of the countries, but to see, do you have the processing capacities? Is this useful? Is this environmental and economic friendly? And then you need to decide to tailor your management plan according to your conditions.
I agree. I completely agree with you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions? No. Okay, thank you. Thank you, dear Victor, for your presentation.